Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Monday morning Mailbox Power Mastermind. Say that like 10 times fast. I don't know that I can. Every Monday morning, we come together and we help each other grow. This is not the Mike and Brenda show. We just facilitate this because we know the value of it and we learn so much from all of you. So, we started these partly because we'd hear great ideas on some of the calls and we didn't want them to go away because we were benefiting from those good ideas. And so, it was kind of selfish and that we wanted to learn from all of you, but I also know that you wanted to learn from us. So, Monday mornings are our chance to start the week off right and to get our mindset right and to grow our Mailbox Power businesses. And with that, we love to start the calls with wins. And I know Lulu was sharing one earlier, but does anybody have any wins they would like to share?
Oh,
Suzanne.
yes. Good morning, everybody. I think I mentioned last week that I had someone call me and say, well, it's time. I got to do my cards, give me a hand here. And then another woman called me or sent me an email actually and said, she says, I've been putting this off, but what I want to do is I want to send out those phone holders,
Nice.
to about 10 or 12 people. And she had an account with, well, actually she has what they call a light account. I have no idea what's going on there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it for her and I'm going to send it from my account. That way I will earn some money from it.
Yeah, awesome. And you are going to charge her the price of the light
The
pricing,
retail,
correct?
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. That's a great way. And I have done that for some people. It's not the way the system was meant to be used. I will say that. But when you have somebody that just wants to do one order, to set up an account for them to do one small order. I mean, if they're going to do holiday every single year and do cards and gifts, then I like to set them up with an account. But if it's just kind of a one-off type thing, I don't have a problem doing that. And I usually charge a little bit more than just the retail price because your time is worth something. And if they had to drive to the store, and I know because you said it was a friend, many times we don't do it and we don't charge extra. And so we're doing all the work and we are making pennies. And you need to value yourself more than that. Because if she had to drive to the store and pick that stuff out and then go find a box and put it in the box or drive to the person's house and drop it off, you are saving her a ton of time, which is money.
Right. Yeah. And she has clients all over the world. So, it's not something you would drive to necessarily. She would be mailing.
Right. So,
but I do have a question, Brenda, is that, I just was thinking, I've seen how much a pro costs and how much an executive costs. How much does a light cost? What's the retail? Where do I find that?
That there is no such thing anymore, except those that were on a light were able to keep the light. And that is $10. But here is what I do, Suzanne, and everybody take this however you want. When I have a one and done, unless it's only a couple of things they're sending, but it sounds like she's sending a lot.
It's 10 or 12, I think she said.
And so 10 or 12 phone holders, which is a good $2 to $3 a piece, probably on the phone holders discount. And your time. What I usually do is my price is the $79 baked into it. And then I make the whole $79 versus if they signed up, I'd only make 40%. But that's only when it's going to be a one and done. Obviously, I don't want to do that monthly. That is not the type of business I want to be in. But I will do it at the holidays Or there's been a few times throughout the year that people have reached out to me and said, but I just need to do this one mailing. And I'll do it for them because I'm hoping later on down the road, they will get a lot of response from it. And they're like, a positive response. And then they're like, well, maybe I should do this more often.
Right.
I had somebody reach out to me this morning that had canceled. He actually was an affiliate and canceled, and he was using it mostly for the marketing and talking about the marketing, which is great. But if somebody isn't willing to spend 4 to 6 months of membership and the postage, which none of his customers did, they did it for 1 or 2 months. And when they didn't get a result, they quit. He was missing out. And I said to him, you really need to be talking about customer retention or customer prospect conversion. So when he meets with somebody or that business meets with somebody, they need to be sending at a minimum a thank you card, or a thank you card and brownies, or a thank you card and cookie, or something to say thank you for the opportunity. Even the popcorn, the unpop popcorn, thank you for the opportunity to let me pop into your business and share what I do. It's like $1.49. It's less than $2. When people do that, I can promise you I haven't had anybody that has done that has not gotten a return and said they've gotten a better close rate when they do that. So it's the whole system. I do talk a lot about the marketing and using the postcards because it's an amazing tool. But if that's all they're going to use it for, unless they're willing to commit a bunch of marketing dollars to do that, and they're in it for the long haul, not 1 to 2 months, just a couple of mailings, it's just not worth it. So whenever you're talking to somebody about marketing, find out what their budget is. I think I talked about this, but it's been quite a while ago, probably 6 months ago. I had a new veterinarian office hospital opening up in my area, and they were referred to me and they became a client, and they were an executive client because they wanted to do postcards. And she said to me, I want to send to, it was like, over 10,000. It might've been 30,000 people. She wanted to do within a 30-mile radius. And I said, what's your budget? She said, I don't really have a budget. I'm like, all right. And then she went back to her CFO, the chief financial officer, that said, you have $5,000, period, and dot. So I said to her, she said, but I'd rather just do one big mailing for $5,000. I said, I don't want to take your money. It's not worth it. You won't get the results. You need to do a minimum of 3 or 4. And so what I did was I took the $5,000 budget and I divided it by 3 or 4 mailings and told her how many houses she'd be able to hit if she did 3 or 4 mailings. And you really are doing your customers a disservice if you are not asking them, if you're using Mailbox Power as a marketing tool for them, what their marketing budget is, and making sure you coach them that they shouldn't spend it all in one mailing or even 2 mailings. You need to do a minimum of 3. And if you're not willing to do that, I don't want to take your money. It's a waste of money. And I'd rather have you put that money into other things or teach you how to use it for nurturing or converting the appointments you're having, because you'll get a much better return with a smaller investment on those. But this was a brand spanking new business. They had no customers. It was a grand opening, so it had to be marketing. So I wanted to make sure that they were going to get a result, because if they didn't, they're not going to talk highly of me or Mailbox Power. So think about that when you're having discussions with a potential customer or a customer that's decided that they want to also do marketing. Maybe they've been using it for nurturing. make sure that the expectation is set properly. Does that make sense, Suzanne? And make sure you get paid. Do not do it for free. You are all valuable, and your time is valuable. Don't give it away. I did that for many, 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 many years. And it takes a mindset shift. Lulu, I want to hear your win just in case your phone rings and you have to go.
Okay.
So if you could share with everybody, and then we'll get to you, Kimberly, because I think you had a win or something you wanted to say.
So apropos to your Monday morning marketing minute, I signed up a nonprofit last week. And of course, nonprofits depend on the community, and they do have a lot of community partnerships and whatnot. So I also have a friend who is a local baker, and I love her, and her stuff is like ridiculously good. So I put them together so that they could create a right now, to start off with, they're going to do like a holiday thing for all of their volunteers and sponsors and whatnot, and they're going to I'm going to help them design it, put a coupon for this local baker so that they can support local. So they're supporting me, they're supporting her, and they're also for the first time reaching out to all their sponsors and volunteers and people on staff.
Yeah.
So and I have a couple of people who do that. So there is that possibility for promoting local businesses with Mailbox Power. I have a mortgage broker that's been doing that for the 3 years or 2.5 years that she's been with me, and it's been very, very successful. And especially this time of year, like, I think it's important when if we're in a networking group or whatever, to say, like, don't go to the big box. Like, let's make this the year of shopping local, of doing business locally.
Yep. And that's it. Lulu was just referring to my Marketing Mondays from this morning. So go watch my Marketing Mondays tip on my Facebook wall and comment and like and share it if you would be willing to. That's one way you could support Mike and I, so that gets more traction on social media. But yes, I truly believe in keeping it local. And on my Marketing Mondays, I talked about how this time of year, many people are going to the big box stores to do shopping, and they poo-poo network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, the small mom and pop shops. They tend to go to those big box stores where they're making millions and billions of dollars, and why not keep the money local? And I love that, Lulu. I've had mortgage and real estate partner up. I've also had real estate agents. If any of you are familiar with Boomerang, it is postcards for real estate agents. And what they do is they market to the local area. The real estate agent gives their list to Boomerang. Yeah, Kimberly's like, what? So now Boomerang has their list. So they provide a spreadsheet to Boomerang. So now somebody else has their list. It costs a little bit more, not much, a few cents more than Mailbox Power. They have minimums, and the real estate agent cannot choose who they want to partner with. It is whoever is set up, whoever Boomerang has built those relationships with, which the real estate agents love because there's no work. They just hand over a list, they mail them out for them. But I have talked to many real estate agents here in my area, and now I'm starting to talk to mortgage and others. And I'm glad Lulu said nonprofits, because I have several nonprofit customers, And I hadn't really thought, I don't know why, but I really hadn't thought about those nonprofits. Her mailing, she's doing a postcard mailing every month out about the impact they're having in the community and that, but she could easily partner. She has so many businesses that support her that she could turn around and support them monthly and get the list from those businesses. So now it supports her more and them more. So I love that idea. But the Boomerang, what they do is the local real estate agent, and I have a template that we built very similar to Boomerang for Mailbox Power. So if you have any real estate agents that would like to do something like that, I'll charge a very small fee, but as I said earlier, we all should be paid for our time and what we've done, and I can share that template. But what they did was they went out and they have partnered with 12 local businesses that they want to support. And the real estate agent that was the first one that kind of piloted that here with me in Colorado Springs, 3 months in, she had several customers reach out to her to say, oh my God, I love the new postcards. I've already used 2 of the 3, and I'd never use a postcard in the past. That's more business, not only for the real estate agent because she looks good and then they talk good about her, but now all those local businesses are now getting more business, and you're keeping it within your own network of people you want to support, which I would personally pay a little bit more to do. It's actually a little bit less last I checked, but obviously you have the time and energy to find the people you want to partner with. So that takes some time. So in the end, if you count your time, it does cost a little bit more. But would you rather partner with people that are trusted people in your network, or with just whoever? Think of the entertainment book. Do you guys did the kids go around, or do you see the thick entertainment book? They used to go around all the time, the kids, and entertainment.com or whatever it is, they go out and find all those sponsors to put in, and then you're stuck with what's in the book. Well, what if you could create your own? I mean, you really could do it in the pamphlet. You know, my brain is starting to explode right now because you could create a booklet. I think I'm going to present this. I have a networking group that meets on Wednesday, and I think I'm going to present that they could each have a page in it. There would be a cost because obviously it's going to cost me to print it. And then we could send it out to each person's network. Like, there's so much we can do with this system.
One game setting, who am I taking?
Alan.
Yes, Brenda, I just wanted to follow on with your comment about everybody ought to be getting paid for their time. I've spent 35 years consulting to lawyers, and most of them don't do anything for a new client without a retainer in hand and a signed services agreement. So I would encourage you all, if you don't have that, to at least consider, and you can find these things on Google easily.
Mm-hmm.
I would be willing to share mine, but it's geared to legal services. I'm modifying it to what I do for Mailbox Power and ultimately for the nonprofits. But just to follow on to that and to endorse your thinking.
Thank you, Alan.
And,
yes.
And Brenda, your Facebook page is Marketing Mondays?
No, it's not a Facebook. It's my personal Facebook page every single Monday morning. I have missed a couple. I've been doing this for like 6 years now. Actually, it might be 7 years that I've been doing Marketing Mondays. It used to be Military Mondays, and it migrated to Marketing Mondays. I try to come on every Monday morning. I don't always do it at 8 o'clock anymore, but it's sometime in the morning on Mondays that I do a marketing tip. And it's lately been focused on, because I love poker and Mike likes poker, that's how we met. It's been on how poker and marketing are similar.
Cool.
So if you love to play cards or you like poker, go check it out. And if you got any ideas for me, if you watch one and it's like, oh, I just thought of another way it's similar, I'd love to hear your comments. Suzanne.
Yeah, just to follow on what you were talking about, what Lula was talking about with partnering, with a nonprofit. I was thinking, what about churches putting together something and all of their patrons and congregation who are in business, they could collaborate and send out information, on postcards or do all kinds of stuff. I mean,
Yep.
that would be a great way to promote not only the church or whatever, but also the people that attend the church.
Yep. Well, it'd be a good way because I haven't seen it recently, but, and it might be because of the whole COVID, now we're out of it, but churches used to I used to get postcards in the mail all the time about come check out. So
Mhm.
they're marketing, they're prospecting for their service. They
Right.
could have all about the service on the one side and
Mhm.
support a local business on the other.
Mhm.
And the local businesses who pays for the postcards going out
Right.
so that the church doesn't. It's the way the business could donate and support the church or the
Right.
businesses within the church. I
Mhm.
mean, my wheels are starting to spin
Yeah, I know.
with this conversation. Kimberly.
I love the booklet, and I've gotten some orders from my church for end of the year, a keepsake, a photo album, a year in review, and about your time. It is very valuable, and I appreciate you reminding us all. I do make cards as well, and I've gotten a couple of orders, and I say, I know you won't have a problem paying an expedite fee because you called me now and you want the card on the 14th. So
Yep.
yeah, our time is valuable. And even if they're your friends, it's business.
Yep, it is. And it took me a long time to learn that, Kimberly. And it's taken a lot of years of coaching and just learning, being around other people, other successful business owners, and going to some presentations where some speakers have gotten up and talk about high ticket sales, and they get up and they say, if you don't have an offer over $100, you are doing your business a disservice. Because people need your talents. People need your time and your talents, and they're willing to pay for them. And you'd be surprised, and through the years I've learned from doing events and charging, the more you charge, you actually get more clients the higher you charge. And I know that seems contradictory, and I didn't believe it, but if you don't value yourself, if you don't set a high enough price on what you do, then why would they think it's valuable? And so then they question. It's sort of like, I don't know if all of you have looked at going to a $50 seminar versus a $200 seminar. You might pay for a $50 seminar and then you may never go because it's in that threshold, but if you spent $200, you're there, you're generally taking notes, you're listening, you're networking more, you're not distracted. If you go to that $50 seminar, you tend to be thinking of all the things you've got to get done in your business or other things, and you don't take it as seriously. Well, it's the exact same thing. If you underprice yourself, people don't take you seriously. And if you want the higher, the better clients that are not generally the PETA clients, then you need to charge more. And oh, by the way, if you're charging more and you end up with a PETA client, you're not so upset about that PETA client because you're getting paid what you're worth versus feeling like you're working for $1 or $2 an hour. So that's kind of the big tip today is support local, support your local community, your network of businesses, figure out a way that you can partner businesses together like Lulu did, and make sure you are charging if you are doing extra. I loved what Lulu 6 months or so, maybe 8 months ago, had an aha and was like, all I sell is the system. I don't need to worry about all of this. And if they want more than just the system, they need to pay for it. And it's so true. Alan.
So along those lines, the 80-20 rule applies significantly, I believe, in that 80% of your revenues typically come from 20% of your client base. So very clear, you want to minimize those pitas.
Yes.
Almost price them out of existence, or hand them off or something, but they're not helping your business anymore at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, if it's a PITA client and you're getting paid well, you look at it way differently than if you're not. Trust me. At least for me, I look at it very differently. When I started raising my rates and I had a few people that, for a lack of a better word, I wouldn't call them a true PITA, but they're not the easy peasy client. You just don't mind it as much. It's like, well, you know what? They're paying me for my time. And you don't look at it negative. You might look at it semi-negatively, but not like you do if you're not charging what you're worth. If you're spinning your wheels and doing a lot of work and a lot of changes for a client, or if you did some work for them and they're constantly, well, can you fix this? And can you fix that? And can you fix this? And if you haven't gotten paid anything, or you've gotten paid very little, it gets irritating. But if you're getting paid well and you've charged them properly, you don't mind as much.
Exactly.
So that's my takeaway for today. We have about a minute left, and we do have our grandkids, so I'm going to keep it right around the 30-minute mark. But any other comments, any other wins, any other ahas today from the conversation?
Just reminder to get even better at it in 2024. Like, I don't mind helping people around the holidays.
Yep.
But, and I have a lot of customers that I never have to help them. So sometimes I feel like, well, if I have a few that I kind of have to help along the way, I don't mind it so much. But yeah.
Well, Anna, as I said last week or the week before, I do treat my executive clients differently than my pro clients. And if they need help getting their holiday card out, as long as it's minimum, as long as it's not hours, they want me to design it and come up with help them with the budget and, all of that, then I generally don't charge them.
Right.
But a lot of times, even the executives, I just charge them less than I charge my pros, because I'm getting paid in the monthly residuals.
Exactly.
And so I'm willing to invest more time with somebody who's spending more with me.
Yep.
So
great reminder.
Quick question, I put it on the chat there. I was wondering, how can we use Mailbox Power to help some local political candidate? The couple of people, I really like them, would like to help them. I'm not sure how.
Joseph, they all have their own, most local politicians have templates that they're using, or they have a graphic designer that's planning on doing postcards anyways. I have worked with politicians in the past. It's been a while since I have had one that I'm working with, but you can obviously go in and help them pull a list, but they also get lists. And the reason I know this is because somebody I know ran for local office at one point. And so I know that they have a lot of tools available to them, mailing lists, so they don't necessarily have to buy one through the system. If they don't have those lists available in the area that you're in, then they could pull a list, but all they need to do is create the postcard, or you create the postcard for them. But because you're not in politics, there are people that specialize in doing political type campaign marketing, and I would find somebody that markets in your area and helps the political campaigns, and I probably would go to that marketing agency and tell them what we offer on the medium-sized postcards and let them be an affiliate, because they already have the expertise in the area. And now you're just expanding your network, and you've brought on an affiliate that has a large number of people in the political field that they're supporting all the time with all different types of marketing. Why not add this as a piece to it? They're usually doing postcard marketing someplace else, and they might be doing it through EDDM, but EDDM doesn't let them do it by Democratic or Republican or independent party. It's by postal route. So anybody that they're using to actually do a targeted list is going probably to be a similar price or more than we are, because of our free printing of the 5.5 by 8.5 postcards.
Well, I was thinking more the five neighbor or something that might be will target, because they already have people supporting them. Just tell them their neighbor to join. I think something that they don't have, right? So
I personally don't know that that would work, Joseph.
okay.
Because let's say this household that you know is Democratic. Their neighbors aren't necessarily Democratic and aren't going to support the same ideas and beliefs as the person in that household. I think you're going to get way more traction with a targeted mailing list to the party or to people that have been known to be independent or swing voters, that they don't
I see. Okay.
vote party line. That's just me. I could be totally wrong though, Joseph, but I would think you'd get a better response using our targeted mailing list, or them getting a targeted mailing list and then using our system to build and send the postcards. And they definitely should be sending thank you cards to everybody who donates to their campaign. And that's what the politician did mostly that I had years ago that used the system when he was running for office, is he did it as a thank you. And he sent out thank yous to everybody who donated, whether they donated $10. Obviously, if they donated a bunch, he probably sent them brownies too, or cookie. But he sent everybody who donated to the campaign a card.
That's a good point. That party.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
with that, I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you next Monday for our mastermind call. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.